What it is. Father Moo, this is what you've been waiting for. This is the big payoff, baby. Finally we get to the effects boxes. That's right, here in my office studio, I've dragged out the Hologram Microcosm on the right and the Chase Bliss Mood Mark II on the left. We're probably not going to use both of them at the same time, especially because they share a power adapter currently, but that would be overkill anyway. So this is what they look like as boxes. Let's just look at our setup for today. Should be right about here. So in case you're curious, we got the Nord Micromodular here on the right. You can see these are the MIDI cables that connect him to the computer and his power cable. And they are out of his output 1. He's running into the Hologram Microcosm, and the Microcosm output in mono is running into my sound card, which runs into my computer. So it's a pretty straightforward setup. It's not rocket science by any means, but it sure will take you to the moon and back. I'll say that much. It's quite a powerful little combo we got here. So we had been through many of the Dubdown patches before, and thank you for the many people who showed up to watch those videos. We're going to be going back to the yes category and redoing some of those takes. As you remember, those takes are usually marked hall verb or plate verb because they just had the built-in sound card to be the reverb. As you can see now on channel 2, which is the... Oh my god, I've been doing this wrong the whole time. This is the one that's supposed to have low cut. Anyway. Channel 2 here is currently the synth input channel, and the reverb has been turned off in the sound card because the Hologram Microcosm is going to do that job today. So without further ado, let's get into it. You're already hearing one of the 2 patches I'm going to be re-recording today with the effects on it. So let's pull up the... Here's the Nord's user interface. So I took, if you look at these 2 here, 53 and 60, they're the 2 versions of the Confidence patch. And as you can see, 60 is just a variant of 53. So what I'm going to do here is one long track in Audacity. By that I mean I'm going to load up patch 53 and mess around with some of the settings and mess around with some of the effect settings in real time as I record it. And then without stopping the recording, I'm going to go straight into patch 60 by changing the settings on the Nord. So in that point in the video, you'll probably see this screen update and patch 60 will appear. But there may not be too much interaction on this screen while it's happening because I'm going to be using my fingers on the real-world knobs of the Hologram Microcosm to do the editing. So mostly you'll have to trust your ears and just listen to this one and hear how it sounds. If you see the mouse moving around on the screen or me grabbing a filter, that's great, but I don't intend to be doing that a whole heck of a lot. And I don't think I'm going to add the voiceover explanation either. I will draw your attention to one thing, though, just briefly. For many years, I was a huge fan of this ambient musician called Tetsu Inoue. That's Tetsu Inoue, a very common Japanese name, actually. And he worked with many people, Pete Namlook, Bill Laswell, many of the ambient artists out of New York associated with that the Bill Laswell collaborators. And he always had this sound in the background of his recordings, and I could never figure out what the heck it was. I think from my experimentations with the Hologram Microcosm, what it is just sending a whole bunch of synths into a delay unit and then removing the wet or raw synth sound, removing the dry synth sound from the mix entirely and only using the wet output. So for example, right now, if I turn my mix to the left, this is what the synth sounds like dry, and this is what the synth sounds like at about 50% wet dry. You can hear some of those effects and echoes in the background. And here's what it sounds completely wet. It can sound very muted and dull, but it's not trying to play a song, it's trying to create like a bed for the tracks to grow out of. Sort of like a noise floor. Instead of tape hiss, it's sort of like wet reverb or wet delay as a sort of low-level background tone. So if you listen to what you're hearing right now, you may hear sounds like this during the recording. I may also add fully wet backgrounds to some of the pieces in the final album, but just so you know what you're listening to, that's what this currently sounds like. This is the totally wet mix. You can probably notice it because of the lack of higher frequencies. It's a lot duller and more restrained and harder to make out what is doing what kind of thing. So anyway, so that's my attempt to do the Tetsu Inoue background sound, and you may hear it a bit today. So, without further ado, I'm going to dial back to 0. I'm going to kill the mic, and I'm going to hit record. So, as I said, there may not be a whole bunch of exciting stuff on the screen, but trust your ears and see what you can hear is going on. And, hopefully this stuff will be ending up in the final recordings anyway, so you'll be able to listen to it then as well. So here we go. I just realized something. The reason that this was on low cut is because I've plugged my things into the wrong boxes, so I'm just going to do the old switcheroo here. By that I mean, for some reason my sound card will only record channel 1, which is that you're hearing my voice on, so I have to swap channels 1 and 2. That's the fun part of the Father Moo recording session, is not only do you hear the mistakes getting made in real time, but you hear them getting fixed in real time. Now that is impressive. Okay, so now I've got channel 2 here, low cut for my voice with a little bit of reverb on it. There's no reverb on the left channel. I'll just do a level test here. There it is. Okay, good. And we'll try one more time hitting record here and seeing what we get. Here we go. Wow. Uh, Good job, Father Moon. Good job. I mean, yeah, this is a channel where I record my own music in real time, but sounds good to me, bro. Himes. Let's do some saving here. So, this one, we got a stupid naming convention here, but it's not stupid, it's accurate. So actually, this is very similar to this, so let's use this file name as a starting point and call this 53 plus 60, which it was, dub02. Instead of verb, we're just going to call it micro for the microcosm. Oops, something weird happened. Let's try that one more time. Micro. Here we go. So that was fun. You can see there's a bit of a dynamic peak here at the beginning. I can probably fix this with the compression and some volume control. It's not bad. In fact, you probably think that I record at a really low level, which mostly because of the unpredictability of some of my generative patches, I like to have a lot of headroom. Since I know my noise floor is pretty low, I can always crank up a quiet recording. But there was a good point, what I was talking about with putting the mix fully wet. I did that somewhere around 1:30 or 2 minutes, and then I continued that way a long time, and then I switched to patch 60 around 3 minutes, and I killed the volume and sort of faded it back in sections, and then just in the end, I mixed into about 50% wet dry so you could hear bits of patch 60. See if we can hear some of that back. So here you can see it's still 50-50. Those high, clear peaks tell you that you can hear the wet dry mix. Right here, stop a second. So yeah, by this point, those high peaks are hidden in a layer of reverb and filtration back there somewhere. See how different that is? And I like how it sounded, so I just went with it. Here, some of the looping in the hologram was done in reverse. Let's see if we can find. So you can hear some higher pitches now from patch 60 as it fades in. The heavy reverb bass is still there, but you can hear it still. Anyway, I just wanted to recap that a bit so people could have more than just the source audio to base it on. That was a pretty great take. I liked it. I enjoyed it. So I'm going to... I forgot to write done after some of these were done. I'm just going to write done times 2 for these. What other parts have we got here? Let me just fade around in the synth for a second. So, this is 49. Oh yeah, lo-fi landscape. Okay, this should be interesting. And then we've got 64. Sounds like 64 is in a different key. Okay, let's do them as 2 separate takes then. We don't have to always cram things together. It won't always work, especially if I don't plan out what's in what exact key. So let's go back to 49. There he is, lo-fi landscape. Again, it'll probably be more of the same here. I'm going to do the knob twiddling on the microcosm in real time, which unfortunately you can't see happening, but it's going to be happening. So, yeah, let's record lo-fi landscape. This is fun, man. For me, like, I had the Nord modular in here for like 70 streams, and it's all almost completely dry. And once I put these pedals on it, it's just pure, instant, ambient, friggin' gold. I love it. So, Yeah, I also plan to do some streaming where I just perform ambient music in real time, and these pedals are gonna absolutely be necessities for that. So let's do another one here. Lo-fi landscape. That's the one. Here we go. Microphone off. Okay, yeah, that's about as good as it gets. If you like Father Moo, don't like him too much because he doesn't get much better than that. That's the ambient stuff, baby. It's ambient synths in the wild. Why do you think we call it that? That's why, baby. Oh, wait, that's the export button. I mean, yeah, it ain't done, and it ain't perfect. It'd be even better in stereo, I can tell you that much. But for right now, that's a pretty good take, man. Let's just mark this guy. Done. X2. He's track 49, so with everything else, there should be an existing one. Here we go. 49. So 49 is for patch name. 002 means like take two. And it's not the hall verb, it's the microcosm. So we put micro. Save. No, I do not want to overwrite that. Something went wrong. Save project as. That was the problem. Try that one more time. And I have said it before, and I hadn't actually gotten to it yet, but all these files that you can see as so-called AUP files, which are just Audacity files, they will be rendered as WAV files in a relatively high-quality format. There we go. And I will upload them to my Google Drive so you can all go in there and monkey around with them. That shall probably be, whenever you're hearing this, probably be either done at that point or within 24 hours of that point. So you can take that one to the bank. Anyway, those have been some nice recordings with the with our guest star here today, the Microcosm. Thank you for coming out, sir. And it's just really fun. These are only two boxes making noise. One of them is synthesizing it, and one of is reverbing and delaying the heck out of it. But it's almost completed ambient music on its own. I look forward to adding other overdubs of, percussion and a couple of synths, like played from keyboards instead of generated. But I mean, it's almost there. It's almost done. It's and I sure like doing it. Some of this gear, I mean, people say you put anything in the microcosm and it comes out ambient. It's probably true, but if you put something prettier in it, it'll come out an even prettier form of ambient. So that's been it for Father Moo. It's been another lovely Sunday. There will be more streams. I hope you like the hardware synth stuff, because there's going to be more of that as well, not only the Nord, but whatever you like, there'll be a playlist for it. So leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to get your mom to subscribe. And we'll see you on any given Sunday. Thank you so much. Peace.